guys, happy Monday. I am ready for lesson 2 of module 18. This lesson is called Make Picture Graphs. So the last lesson we learned how to use picture graphs, and so this time we're going to make our own. Some of the questions give us some data to figure out, and some of the questions will have us come up with our own information. So I'm very excited. The I can statement says, I'm on page 461, the I can statement says, I can draw a scaled picture graph to solve how many more and how many less problems. So again, we're using the information that was gathered to solve problems like how many more, how many less, so comparative problems. The Spark Your Learning says, Victor makes the table at the right. He uses it to record the types of projects that the third grade classes would like to do for community service. Make a representation of the data. So the clipboard, this cute little picture, says, which type of community service would you do? And the options are pull weeds, rake leaves, wash cars, and clean up. So Victor probably went around asking the third graders what they would want to do and just kept track of the votes. So now we're taking that information and we're putting it in a graph so it's easy to comprehend, easy to compare, and just represent the data. So every table, every graph needs a title, it needs the categories, and then it needs the number that matches the category. So I'm going to start out by drawing a rectangle, a pretty good sized rectangle like that, and then I'm going to draw a line across the top, and that is going to be for my title. So I'm going to name this Community Service Project. Community Service Project. And then I'm gonna split it in half. I'm not gonna do quite half. I'll just kind of have it over here a little bit so that I can have more space for the numbers. So then I'm gonna do 1, 2, 3, 4 sections here for each of the projects. So then the top one is pull weeds. Oh, and you know what? That line needs to go all the way across. Pull weeds, rake leaves. So you want to be as neat as you can. I'm writing sideways, so it's not very neat. But when you guys do it, I'm sure it'll be beautiful. And clean up. Okay, so now I have my 4 different projects on the side. Now I need a symbol, a picture, to represent, to represent the numbers. So down here was gonna be our key. I just made that too small, and so I had to redo it. So, gosh, I probably should have been using a pencil. So, when we make the key, we want to think about what these numbers have in common. So this is where our knowledge on multiplication and division are going to really help us. So I'm looking at all of these numbers, 15 votes, 18, 12, and 21. So now I'm trying to think of a number that all of these numbers are divisible by. So in other words, I'm trying to find a multiple of some number. So all of these, 15, 18, 12, and 21, are multiples of blank. That's a better way of saying it. These votes, these numbers are multiples of something. So I'll just test it out. Are they all multiples of 2? 18 and 12 are, but not 15 or 21, because 15 or 21 are odd, so they are not divisible by 2. So then I'll try 3. Are they all multiples of 3? Are they all divisible by 3? 15 is a multiple, 18 is a multiple of 3, 12 is a multiple of 3, and 21 is a multiple of 3. So I'm going to use 3 for my key. So whatever symbol I choose is going to represent 3 votes. And I'm going to choose a heart because they're doing service. So 1 heart equals 3 votes. Okay, so now I'm going to translate my data. So for pulling weeds, 15 votes were counted. So how many hearts will I draw? Well, if 1 heart equals 3 votes, then 15 divided by 3 is 5, so I need 5 hearts. So then it's 3, 6, 9, 12, 15. Now for raking leaves, 18 votes. So that's going to be 18 divided by 3 is 6. So I'm going to have 6 hearts. Okay, I kind of went off the map. And then wash cars was 12 votes. 12 divided by 3 is 4. So I'm going to draw 4 hearts. Okay, and then for cleanup, there's 21 votes. So 21 divided by 3 is 7. So I'm going to color in or draw 7 hearts. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So then this is like a first draft. If I were to show this to a teacher or someone in charge of the community service project, I would probably want to redo this, use a ruler, make it look really exact and nice. But this is just for our math lesson, so I won't worry too much. But yeah, so the main part is that we have to remember our title. We have to have a section for all of the different parts, the different categories. The bottom needs to have our key. And to determine our key, we need to find out how all of these numbers are divisible by. And all of these numbers are divisible by 3, which is why we chose that as our key. Okay, following along so far? It's okay if it's not totally nailed yet. We'll keep trying. All right, next page. Number 1. Mr. Hum counts and records in a table the number of tools he has. How can you tell what a picture graph is about? Okay, well, let's look at this. So a tool supply, he has screwdrivers, wrenches, bolts, and nuts. He has 8, 12, 24, and 18 of each of those items. So how do we know, like with our other picture graph that we just drew for the Spark Your Learning, how do we know what the picture graph is all about? What part of the graph tells us what even we're representing? That's the title. The title tells us what this graph is all about. And then part B says, how many should one symbol represent? Choose a number greater than 1. Okay, so I want to look at all of these numbers and find a number greater than 1 that all of these numbers are divisible by. It says, think half of the symbol stands for half the value of the whole symbol. So like we talked about that with the trees and the plants from lesson 1. If we cut that symbol in half, it represents half of the value of the whole symbol. So 8, 12, 24, 18, I think, well, they're all divisible by 2 because they're all even, and that's a good place to start. But if I could go bigger than 2, I want to do that. So let's see, 2, 3, 12, 24, 18 would work, but not 8, so I can't do 3. What about 4? 4, 8, 12, 16. Okay, so it goes from 16 to 20, but 18 is halfway. If I look on a number line, 16, because I'm counting by 4s, so 16 to 20, that's 1, 2, 3, 4 marks, 17, 18, 19, 20. in between those, 1, 2 is 18, which is what this number is right here. So I could use half of my symbol. So I'm going to count by 4s. So I could have counted by 2s, but I want to have my symbol represent as much as I can. And since 4 works for 8, 12, and 24, and then if I count by 4s from 16 to 20, 16 is a multiple of 4, 20 is a multiple of 4, half of 4 is 2, and 16 plus 2 is 18. Some of you might be thinking, Miss Lundquist, what on earth are you talking about? I know it's a lot, but you got it. Count by 4s, half of 4 is 2. The difference between 16 and 18 is 2, so I would just cut my symbol in half. Okay, how many symbols will you draw for each tool? So for the screwdriver, ow, my pen got stuck in my hair. Okay, for the screwdriver, you can see the hair. Okay, for the screwdriver, 8 divided by 4 is 2, so we're going to use 2 symbols, whatever it is. For the wrench, or the wrenches, there's 12 wrenches. 12 divided by 4 is 3, so I'll use 3 symbols. Bolts, 24. 24 divided by 4 is 6, so I'll use 6 symbols. And then finally, for the nuts, there's 18. So I cannot do 18 divided by 4, but I can do 16 divided by 4, and that is 4 symbols plus half a symbol, because half a symbol would represent 2 objects, because half of 4 is 2. And I need 2 steps to get me from 16 to 18. So 4.5 symbols. Okay. Now we do our picture graph. So what are we going to call our picture graph? Well, we counted the number of tools, the tool supply, so I'm just going to call it tool supply. And this time the graph is all worked out for me, so that is so nice. I just have to fill it in. So on the left is going to be our different tool names: screwdrivers, wrenches, bolts, nuts. Okay, and then the key each, what do you want to draw? We could draw a tool box. That would be cute. So each toolbox kind of looks like a basket. Each toolbox represents 4 tools. All right, so for the screwdrivers, we're going to have 2 toolboxes, because remember, each toolbox represents 4 tools, and there are 8 screwdrivers. The wrenches, there are 12, so we're going to draw 3 toolboxes, because 12 divided by 4 is 3. Now they're kind of looking like muffins or cupcakes. And then bolts, there's 24. 24 divided by 4 is 6, so I'll draw 6 pictures. Could you imagine if we had to draw 24 pictures? That's why it's so helpful to have a key, so that we don't have to spend so much time drawing. We can just say, hey, one of these pictures represents so much of the item. All right, and then the nuts, 18. We can't do 18 divided by 4, but we can do 16 divided by 4, and that's 4. And then 16 plus 2 is 18. So we'll do 4.5 symbols. Now it's starting to make sense, hopefully, right? So there's kind of my half. It's kind of hard to draw half, but there it is. All right. Okay, Number 2 on the next page, it says use the table to record data for the number of each item in your classroom. Okay, so let's use our imagination since we're not in the classroom. Bins. Gosh, we have so many bins for our reading sanctuary. So I'm gonna say, let's see, there's, I think, 3 bins on each shelf, and there's 4 shelves. So are there 4? I think there's actually 4 bins on every shelf, and there's 4 shelves. So that would be 16 bins. There's other bins around the classroom, but we'll just do the reading ones. Closets. Okay, so we have 2 closets that are Miss Lillenquist closets. So you guys probably don't even know what they are. One of them has just like boring teacher stuff, but then the other one has like all the games and stuff that I take out. And then desks. 36 desks for 36 nuggets. And then posters. Oh my gosh, how many posters do we have? We have a lot. Well, we used to have this one. Now it's in my house. So it's 1. We've got like the ones outside that are super cute and positive. That'd be 6 and 7. How many more do we have? Oh, we have the Pledge of Allegiance. That's 8. Let's call it good. Let's call it 8. And then shelves. Well, we have the 4 shelves for the reading sanctuary. And then I think there's 2 more next to the reading sanctuary. So that's 6. And then there's a bunch behind Miss Shields' table. So it's probably 4. We won't include the shelves inside the closets. So what was that, 10? 10 shelves, sounds about right. Okay. Oh, we didn't even include the bins from the art cart. That's good, that's good. All right, so now we're gonna use this data. Oh, sorry, I'll hold it up like that so you can write it down. 16, 2, 36, 8, and 10. Use the data in the table to make a picture graph. Write the title, write the items on the left column, choose a symbol. Choose a number greater than 1 for what the symbol represents. Think, do you need to use half of a symbol? We could totally do that. So let's see, the title of our picture graph is going to be, I don't know, classroom. We could do classroom items. I know that's kind of not very jazzy, but we could say 3rd grade class stuff. Also not very jazzy, but that's okay. If you come up with something more creative, let me know. I'm sure you do. Okay, so then on the left side is going to be all of the items, each category. So we have our bins, closets, desks, posters, and shelves. So now let's see each symbol. What symbol should we use? Let's use let's use a pencil. Okay. Each pencil equals, I'm looking at our numbers, 16, 2, 36, 8, and 10. I think I want to do 4 again, because if I do each pencil represents 4 items, then I could do half of a pencil for the closets, and then I could do half of a pencil for the shelves too. I think that's going to be the best call. So then for the bins, 16 divided by 4 is 4, so I'm going to draw 4 pencils. That one was longer than the other. Try to keep your symbols the same. Unlike Miss Lillenquist. Okay, 4 closets. There's only 2, so we're going to use half a pencil. Desks, there are 36. 36 divided by 4 is 9, so I need 9 pencils. I should have drawn them smaller originally. That's okay. We learn from our mistakes. That's totally groovy. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Am I counting right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I wasn't counting right. Good thing I checked. 9. I wonder if we could have done something else. No, I think we did good. Okay, and then the posters, there are 8. So 8 divided by 4 is 2. So I will draw 2 pencils. Posters, oh wait, posters we just did. Shelves, there's 10. Okay, so 10 is not divisible by 4, but we could do 8 divided by 4, and that's 2. And then the difference between 8 and 10 is 2, and half of 4 is 2. So we can do 2 pencils and a half to represent 10. Ta-da! Whoop! Okay, so what equation can you write to find how many fewer closets than desks there are? We could do 36, because that's how many desks we have, minus 2, because that's how many closets there are. 36 minus 2 equals 34 less closets. All done. Okay, so I know it's a lot of work coloring in all of these symbols, but hopefully it starts to make sense. Let's go ahead and do the check understanding. It wants us to use the picture graph above. So number 1 says, how would the number of symbols change if the number for your key was cut in half? So the number for our key is 4 items. So if that number was cut in half, so now each symbol represented 2 items, what would that mean for our picture graph? How many more symbols would we need? Well, if we cut the value in half, we need more of them to show the same amount of items. So it would double. The number of symbols needed would double. So that's what you will write. Just writing that all in. The number of symbols needed would double. Because for, like, picture the posters. So the posters, right now our key, the pencil equals 4 items. So we did 8 divided by 4 is 2, so we draw 2 pencils. But if we said, okay, now the pencil represents 2 items. So then we do 8 divided by 4, and that, or excuse me, 8 divided by 2, and that is 4. So we'd have to draw 4 pencils. So the amount doubles. Okay, number 2. The students in Miss Dover's class try to solve a math challenge every week. Miss Dover records the number of students who solve the challenge. So each week, make a picture graph that shows the data. How will you decide which number to use for your key? Okay, so we are going to look at the number of students. Week 1, 15 students met the challenge. Week 2, 25 students met the challenge. Week 3, 10 students met the challenge. And week 4, 5 students met the challenge. So when we're trying to find a number for the key, we're trying to find a number that all of these values are divisible by. And so I'm seeing a lot of 5s. I'm seeing a lot of multiples of 5. And so I am going to say my key equals 5. So what you could say right here in the lines though is that we decide which number to use by looking at multiples and seeing which number all of those items is divisible by. Okay, so now let's do our picture graph. So the title of the graph is going to be Weekly Math Challenge. Or you could say Miss Dover's weekly math challenge, something like that, but keep it simple. Week 1, there are 15 students. So what symbol do we want for the key? We could do, I'm just going to do a circle. So then we decided the circle represents 5 students. So week 1, 15 students participated. So 15 divided by 5 is 3. So I'm going to draw 3 circles. Week 2, 25 students participated. 25 divided by 5 is 5. So I'm going to draw 5 circles. Week 3, 10 students participated. 10 divided by 5 is 2. So I'm going to draw 2 circles. And then week 4, there are only 5 students participating, and 5 divided by 5 is 1. Ta-da! How many more students solved the math challenge in week 1 than in week 3? So we're comparing 15 and 10. 15 minus 10 equals 5 more students. Number 4, how many fewer students solved the math challenge in week 4 than in week 2? Comparing week 4 and week 2, that'd be 25 minus 5 equals 20 more students. Number 5, Alma will use a symbol of a smiley face to stand for 5 students. How should a row look for week 2? So Alma's using a smiley face to stand for 5 students. So we kind of did that same thing. We just did a circle, not a smiley face. So week 2, there are 25 students, so Alma will draw 5 smiley faces because 25 divided by 5 is 5. Yay! Okay, so I hope this went well. Not too bad, not too shabby. Let me know if you have any questions, and good luck with your homework. But don't stress, we have a whole chapter on graphs, so we'll keep practicing and everything will be great. Let me know if you need anything. Love your guts. Bye.